Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 2, and today we're going to look at animating a sprite and also animating a background. So let's review what we did last week. We looked at sprites and we looked at the background. And the background is often referred to as the stage, and the sprite is often referred to as the actor. So you have an actor which is acting on a stage. Now if we want to animate this sprite or this actor, give it some motion or some movement or whatever, what we have to do is we have to change its costume, or we have to create another costume. Just like in a real play, the actors, they wear different costumes. We have a similar thing happening in Sprite. So let's move up to the costumes tab here, and we can see how we can create a new costume. You click on the costumes tab for Julian, the Julian sprite. You can see we have one costume, costume number 1. And if we want to change the name of that costume, all we have to do is left click in that box and change the name to whatever we want. So I'm going to change this one to front. That's going to be my front costume. And I want to create a back costume where the character is facing backwards. And the easiest way to do that is actually to copy the first costume and then edit it. So let's first change the name to back, and then let's edit that costume. And here we go. So let's see how we got to make it look like the character is facing backwards. So we probably want to take out the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So I'm going to start with the eyedropper, and I'm going to choose this orange color. And I'm going to choose the paintbrush and maybe make the size a little bit bigger. And I'm just going to get rid of the mouth and the eyes. And I'll use the line tool. And we're going to get rid of that 77 on the front, that was on the front there. So I click on text tool and just delete the text. And there we go. We have a backwards looking costume. I'm going to click OK. And now we have two costumes. We have a front costume and a back costume. So I want to create a couple more costumes to make it look like this sprite is animating. So let me just copy the front again, and I'm going to call this left. So in this costume I want the sprite facing leftwards. So let's edit it, and I'm going to once again choose the orange color. And then I can use the eraser to erase the ear. And this second ear here almost looks like a nose, but I'm going to remove it as well. And I'm going to use the line tool. And I should make some adjustments to the legs. And I want to have this one is my left costume. Right now it's facing right, so I'll just, what you can do is you can use the flip horizontally, which we looked at in lesson number 1. Just click on that one, and now he's facing leftwards. I'm going to click OK. And actually, I'm going to go back up there, and my text is still there. Let me get rid of it. Click OK. And there we go. So we got a left, and a back, a front, front, back, left, front, back, and left. Now to make a right costume is really easy. All we have to do is copy our left, edit, and flip horizontally. Click OK, and I need to rename that one to right. So I have a back, a left, a front, and a right. And you can move these around if you wish. You can just move the costumes around in a different order just by clicking and dragging them. So left, back, front, right. You can see how we've created some animation here just by moving my mouse cursor from costume to costume. I can create a kind of a animation effect there. But it's kind of boring just to be moving the character like this. We want to have the character do it automatically. We want to have the program tell the character to move itself. So to do that in Scratch, what you have to do is you have to create a script. And what a script is, basically, it's just a series of actions that the actor has to carry out. It has to follow the script, just like a real actor in a play. He has to follow the script. So a script normally starts according to a particular event, and most scripts in Scratch start when the green flag is clicked. When the user clicks the green flag, the program starts. And if the user wants to stop the program, they can just click the Stop Everything buttons. So one way is clicking the green flag. Another way is if the user actually presses a key on the keyboard. So it can be the space bar, the up arrow, down arrow, right arrow, etc. So for our particular animation, what I want to do is I want it to start when the green flag is clicked. So the user is going to press the green flag, and then our script is going to start. And we want the actor to do is we want him to change costumes. So if you go up to looks here, you can see that there is a switch to costume, and there is a next costume. So we could use either one of these. We could switch to the right, back, left. I could have 4 of these, but I think it's just easier just to use the next costume. So I'm going to drag the next costume right across here. If I connect it, you can see the white line there. I can just connect it, and now when I press the green flag, the actor moves to the next costume. Press the green flag, press the green flag. He keeps moving. But we don't want to have the user sitting there pressing the green flag all the time. We want the actor to do it by himself automatically. So we need another control for that. So if we look and click on controls here, we have what is called the forever control. Now the forever control, it goes on forever and forever and forever. It keeps repeating and repeating, going from the top to the bottom, repeating and repeating until the user presses the stop everything. So if I just take the next costume and put it inside the forever, what's going to happen is forever, until that user presses the red button, it's going to switch to its next costume, whatever that next costume is. We have lined up here, it could be the left, so the next costume here is the right one. So it'll keep switching from costume to costume, looping around, looping around. So we have to just connect that to our green flag, go up here, press the green flag, start the program, and you can see the character is moving from costume to costume, but he's moving so fast that he looks almost like he has some sort of problem. So what we can do is we can just kind of slow it down a little bit by putting in a wait command in our loop there. So if I go up and I gotta wait 1 second, put it inside our loop, so it's forever, move to next costume, wait, loop around again, next costume, wait 1 second, and it keeps going and going until the user stops it. Now the wait 1 second will slow it down somewhat, as you can see, but maybe that's a little bit too slow actually, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit by changing it to half a second. So you can just type right in there, left click, it highlights, and then you can change it to whatever time you want. So I'm going to have it wait half a second. And I can see that's a little bit better. It's a little, not too fast, not too slow. It's a nice transition. So next what we want to do is we want to get the background to animate. We've got our character animating. So I'm going to switch to the stage. So if I click on the stage, I can also create a script. When the green flag clicked, I can switch to a different background. But let's have a look and see how many backgrounds we have right now. Well, we have two, which is the white background. Well, if I switch to the white background, it doesn't really give me anything, or doesn't really animate anything. So I'm going to delete this background. I'm going to take a copy of the desert, and I'll call that desert, and I'll call this, I'm going to call it cactus, and cactus bend. So I'm going to have the cactus kind of bend, and to do that I have to go and I have to edit the second background, the cactus bend background, and I have to make some changes. So I'm going to take the select tool and move it over top of the cactus, and I'm going to use the rotate, and then I'm going to move it over. I'm going to use the paint bucket tool. As soon as I choose the color, I'm going to use the paint bucket to fill it in, and I'm going to have to fill in this area here, so I'm going to use the copy tool, stamp tool, just to copy a bit of the cactus and just move it in place. Not perfect, so I have to use the paintbrush a little. And let's choose the color, this green color, and choose the paintbrush. And click OK. And now I have two backgrounds. Cactus is kind of moving here, as you can see, and I have to write a script now to get that cactus to move. So very similar, we go into looks, and we can use the next background command, and we can use the forever as well. Use the forever. And forever, I want the background to change, so I just slip that in there. And we know from experience that if we don't put a weight in there, let's see what's going to happen when I click this green flag. It goes really quickly. So let's go back and add a little bit of wait time in there, in that loop. Now this is forever going around and around and around. It's continual. It keeps going forever. It does this action, then does this action, then repeats and repeats and repeats. It repeats forever. The only time it's going to stop is when you actually go up and you click this red button. Then it stops. Now I'm going to change the time to 0.5 seconds like I did with the Sprite, and there we go. Got our background animating, and we got our Sprite animating as well. Okay, and that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, and in lesson 3 we're going to take a look at adding some sound to our animation. Thank you very much.